I grew up on the dairy farm. I milked my first cow when I was 5 years of age. Left school at 14 years of age. Went to Air Force Training College in Valley, Brisbane. T.C. Burns' old building now. And that's where I enlisted. And I was put on the reserve. Came back to Yalarbin. And prior to that, I was a shearer for 10 years. Very unusual for an airman to be a shearer, but that was the case. I trained in Maryborough as a wireless operator. Then I was transferred to Evans Head and trained as a gunner. I was sent up to New Guinea. We were put into Hudson's, and the Japs were making advances on Australia at Kokoda and Rabaul. I was flying in Hudson's, number 6 Squadron, and we were sent up and involved in active service at Milne Bay.
So what was that Milne Bay campaign like?
Very hectic, that's all I can say, but we flying in all sorts of bad weather and gaps and any troubles at that time.
So what was it like being a gunner on the bombers?
Very exciting, and at times, I was going to swear, I'm bloody dangerous. We were shot up at Rabaul after making previous attacks on the Japanese positions at Rabaul, gun positions, and we were sent back there, our crew, to destroy their gun position. They were very sure to let us come in close a couple of times. And when we got too close, they said, this is our opportunity. They got into us and shot us up very badly. We had to fly back with a crippled aircraft. The hydraulics lines were busted. Bullets went through the hydraulic lines, and I happened to be on the wireless alongside of where one of the bullets hit and the hydraulic oil, I'll tell you, was nearly boiling hot. The pressure of the air in the aircraft. When the hydraulics were busted, the wheels had no support, so they were flopping down underneath. As we flew away from Wewak, the Jap gunners, they found their mates over on the coast with a gun position, and they opened up on us while we were still flying, badly crippled. And the pilot wrestled with the aircraft to keep it in the air. They spattered us with quite a lot of gunfire. We came back and there was a crash landing strip at Itavy, and we landed there. The story there was I was on the wireless and gave the information to the base to have all the crash landing equipment ready to rescue us if we came out of it. I happened to be on the radio at the time, and that's why I got this mention from Henry the Duke of Gloucester. It means more to me than if I'd accepted the British Empire Medal. But we came in and we landed fairly safely, without any wheels, belly landed. Or belly flop, we used to call it.
How did you feel, though, when you were sent straight back into duty? Because you would have been pretty shaken, wouldn't you?
Yes, that's a typical thing, and it's a thing that's always done. They never send another crew. They always send the same crew back because it settled their nerves.
How did you feel when you were getting back on the next plane?
No worries at all. I said, we'll give the bees something they can shoot at this time. And we did. We went very steadily over it, and we knew they only had small gunfire and they couldn't reach us, so we went over to 10,000 feet, and I was told after that our operation was very successful. There was no more Dead-Eye Dick, they called him. There was a Japanese gunner. There was no more Dead-Eye Dick. We finished him off. My CEO recommended me recommended me for a British Empire Medal. He called me to his office, of course, and which was the Bush Hut up in Killiney. And he said, I want to recommend you for the work you've done in saving the crashed aircraft and your crew. And I thought about it, and a couple of days after I went back and I said, I'm sorry, sir, but I said, I've decided I'm not going to accept the offer. Not that I'm not grateful and proud that you seem fit to recommend me. I thought it would be very unfair for the rest of the crew who, in my opinion, done as much on it. In the pilot's case, it was more responsible for what went on. It was just that I happened to be on the radio at the time, and all the bigwigs heard what I was doing, getting the ambulance and fire cart and things down ready for our crash landing. I was a warrant officer at that time, and he then made me a higher ranked officer, moved me up to flying officer. Most of our guns were Browning 303s, putting out 1,200 bullets a minute.
Did you ever hit anything?
I hope so. Had a battle on one occasion with 4 fighters on us, which we come out the best. Oh yes, well, we were getting into their territory and they were trying to hunt us away and attack us, of course.
Because you were going to drop bombs, or?
No, we were on reconnaissance.
Mm. And so how heavily armed were you in the Beaufort?
You had 7 guns on board.
And how did you come out best when you had 4 zeros on your tail?
We were lucky to come out at all. But we did, made some mistakes in coming from behind us. There was another occasion about the same time. And we were on the same reconnaissance, flying over towards New Britain. We had some American bombers and our own bombers, and there was about 4 squadrons attacked, and they were carrying troops in Ribeira. And sorry to say, we made a nice mess of them. The sad part about it, when the ships were sunk, they all were swimming around in the water, and we came along and blasted them in the water with machine gun fire, and the water was as red as that Jack's heels there. Some got away, of course, got on, swam to islands close by and that sort of thing. But they didn't last a long while. They went to the islands and claimed them.
How did that make you feel, firing on those people in the water?
Well, it's a very, very sad and distressful feeling. You wonder if you're doing the right thing. You're sent there to do a job, so you must do it. It's under orders. If we were to let them go and get on the islands, it'd be a hell of a job to get rid of them. So, jump on them, like kick a man when he's down sort of business.
Where was it when that accident occurred where 10 of your mates died?
We were in Nabdab then. You know, and just simply died, and we burnt the cinders in the aircraft. There was only one saved, and he was found clear. It got that hot, he was unconscious, but brought him to, and he crawled away. He made his way back towards our camp, Nabdab. He only lived with the Japs, done all sorts of things with the Japs. Even took their clothes off the line, grabbed their uniform and got into one of their uniforms, took quinine tablets so his skin had turned yellow. Eventually we rescued him, and he got a military medal of some sort.
These were two 100 Squadron bombers that crashed, that collided.
Yes, we lost 9 blokes in one stroke like that.
How did you feel though? Because you were back at camp where you were...
Very sad, the loss of 9 mates in the tents around here in Leghorn. Yes, I was married at Moggabilla in May 1935. She and the little boy, they followed me where they could on the mainland, but of course there was no way they could go up to where I was on active service. Just towards the end of the war, she decided that the wildlife was for her, and with my son, she bucked out. In other words, said she was leaving me. The war ended, and 2 years later I remarried a girl from Melbourne. I was retired. I'd been, that's not the right word, retired, when they demobilised you. I was told I'd had enough, and I had had enough too. I was just about a nervous wreck. Three tours. She was a tailoress at Alexander's clothing factory in Richmond. 1949, I had a nervous breakdown. Fortunately, I was in pretty good health bodily, and I recovered from it, never to be exactly the same. So I said to my wife, I said, I've been a hairdresser before the war for a while. I said, I'm got to give this up and go into Goondiwindi, I said, and see what I can do about it. Get the shop, and I'm going to start a hairdressing and sports store combined. This is where success started for again. Although haircuts were only 1.9 at the time, they're $13 or more now. I started making money on it. My wife was settling down, being away from her people. Wynne, she's a lovely girl. There she is there. She was a beautiful girl. In 1950, our first baby came along.
So how many kids did you end up with?
3 boys.
How many grandchildren?
4.
And how many great-grandchildren?
2.
2. Do you see any of them much?
Yes, they're here in Goondiwindi. Wynne passed away in 1980.
So life's been pretty lonely then without your lovely wife with you?
Oh, terribly. She's a lovely person, honest, and you could trust her with your life.